Hey, back again making another Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 video. And I'm here today showing you how can you make the best Namekian, potentially. So, I've been testing a lot, but I basically got a full grasp on how to make a actual good Namekian build, since Namekians are my main. And I'm here to share y'all that. Now, you have seen a lot of different builds on this video about Namekian. The reason why I showed them is because those Namekian builds are actually good for Namekians. And two, I just like sharing builds. But this one, well, this video is specifically for those who want the best out of the Namekian, and they don't care anything else besides having the best out of the Namekian. Okay, so now we got that out the way. Let me show you. So, go to your boost attributes, put max health at 200. Why? Because the Namekians with 200 health can come just as close as the Malmagin. Yeah, you heard me. Just as close as the Malmagin. It's only a 2,000 difference between them two. But so with a Malmagin, you take 2,000 damage extra since you have 2,000 extra points in health than the Namekian. But the main bad part about the Mount Margins is that when it's above 3 bars of stamina, you take 25% extra damage, and it's just stupid. Not ideal. Which is why the Mankins are more better tank builds than Majin. But anyway, so after when you get 200 in max up, you do not want to put any in key, because at a level 120 with nothing in key, you will get 5 bars. 5 bars of key, which you don't need any more bars than that, because the Namekians, I don't see any Namekian build that has like over 5 bars of key, unless you're doing some giant Namekian build or some stupid shit like that. But anyway, so 0 in key, you want to put at least 20 in stamina. For your basic attacks, you want to have that up at 100. Right, so now here comes the preference part on the Namekian. And I've been testing this. So Namekians for basic attacks are actually ranked third. They're the third highest basic attack damaging race. Now for Strike Supers and Ki Blast Supers, they are fourth, coming in fourth, and both of them do the exact amount of damage. For Strike Supers, Namekian do 7.125. Well, Ki Supers, they do 7.125. Literally the flipping same. So it doesn't matter if you put more in strike or more in key. It's just the difference. So let's just say you fight a Namekian build that has 100 in strike, 100 in basic, and then you have 100 in key blast and 100 in basic. You two are basically doing the same amount of damage, but with two different elements. Now, which one do I consider the better element, in my opinion? I would have to say Strike Supers, because Strike Super moves are good for the Namekians when it comes into raid, PvP, and PvE without all the raid stuff, like, the poses that give you super armor and shit. It's just, better in my preference. But some people prefer Key Blast Supers for the Namekians over there, and that's fine. But like I said, this is a preference thing. So whether you want to have, so the best thing I recommend. So look, 75 in Strike Supers, then 25 in Ki Blast Supers. But if you prefer Ki Blast Supers over Strike Supers, well, you put 25 in Strike Supers, then obviously 75 in Ki Blast Supers. Now, if you're a key user, you may be asking, why not just put 100 in Ki Blast Supers? Well, that's the thing. You want to put at least some points in Strike Supers. Because even though you can pretty much do anything with a Ki Blast, right? With a little bit in Strike, it still gives you that opportunity to make these ridiculous combos. I've seen a lot of ridiculous, like 80% Ki Blast and 20% Strike Super combos that are just like absolute insane. And it's really crazy what you can do with the Namekians. But for me, I prefer that seven. I prefer 80% in Strike Supers and 20% in Ki Blast Supers. Now that's just a preference for me. Now you may be wondering, what do you do with the two remaining points? You can either put it in basic and strike, or basic and Ki Blast, or what I'm about to do, put them two in the strike and Ki Blast. And then when you do that, when you find what is more preferable for you, you just simply click yes, and there you go. Now what you want to do with super with your Kikubane, for me, I got this Kikubane right here. Also got this one, but I'd rather use this one because I never use a Kikubane that doesn't have any. Like for example, with 2.5, I still get something for health, but I don't like that 5 for health, in my opinion, because it is so much better, honestly, than with the stamina. Then this is just the perfect one for me. Now I have seen my friend, who is a Ki Blast user, happen to get the exact same Kikubane, just that it's just that it's the opposite. What I mean it's the opposite, instead of having Strike Supers at 5, it's just 1 in Strike Supers and then 5 in Ki Blast Supers. Now how he ended up getting that, I have no idea. But then we have another friend that had almost the exact same Super Soul, or not Super Soul, my bad, Kikubane, where it had 1 in Basic, 2 in Strike Supers, and then 5 in Ki Blast Supers. And we're just like, damn. And then his friend ended up getting, I honestly think is just a great Kikubane. He ended up getting where it had 4 brackets in basic attacks, 5 brackets in Strike Supers, and then 3 brackets in Ki Blast Supers. And then, 5 brackets in stamina, 5 brackets in health. Now, how the fuck did he get that Kikubane? I have no idea. I would love to know, because that would be great. But he still haven't told me his secret, so I guess I will never get it. But that's okay, because I got something just as good, which is this, by the way. Now, here's something actually interesting that I found about the Namekians. So, their basic attacks, right? I just wanted to tell y'all this just so you know, right? Their basic attacks for a Namekian is 7.500. which compared to their strikes and Ki Blast Supers at only 7.125, if we do the math correctly, I believe that's a 325 difference, which is honestly not that very different, but okay. And the reason why I'm telling y'all this is because some of y'all, for example, my other build where it has 200 in health, 20 in stamina, and 101 in strikes, supers, and Ki Blast supers. I mean, there's a reason why I did that. It's because that 325 difference between basic and like, you just might as well put 100 in fucking strike supers and Ki Blast supers, in my opinion. But, you know, putting a little bit more thought into it, I suppose it ain't that bad to invest into basic attacks, have at least 100 in it, since it is a 325 difference, and it might be more. But anyway, after when you equip your Kukubane of what you're liking, you want to at least a Kukubane with 5 brackets in health and 5 brackets in stamina, and then whatever in basic strikes and Ki Blast. But after when you equip that, the Super Soul you want to use may shock you, but time to dismantle you androids. What in the fudge are we using this for? Well, why? It's because it reduces damage taken from all attacks by 10% while activating key coverage mode when your health is below 50%. Now you may be asking, well, if that's the case, why not just use the attack on the same as before? Well, there's a reason why. If you have never watched my video about how I said this Super Soul is trash, I recommend you watch it, because I'll explain to you why it's trash. So, once only health is below 25%, it temporarily reduces damage taken by 20%, right, which is, everybody's opinion is better. When health is below 25%, reduces damage taken from all attacks by 15%. So, when the first time that Super Soul activates, it's 20%, but when that temporarily damage reduction of 20% goes away, it's replaced with the 15% damage reduction. Now, the thing about the Super Soul, or why it's trash, is that if you use it on the Namekian, you're pretty much fucking yourself over. Why I say you're fucking yourself over is because if someone just do a simple one tap on your health, right, where it activates the Super Soul, the Namekians have that health regen until it's out of the red zone. Which when they one tap your health and it's out of the red zone, you're over 25% of health, which kicks you out of that Super Soul. That is his main flaw. Even though it is better because of the attack up, who honestly cares when someone can just one tap? And besides, when you get down to where you are up in the red zone, you know, it's time to pack your bag. I'm honestly just sorry. But, you know, it's just time to pack your bag. By the time that the Spaniard your androids, when health is below 50%, activates key cover mode and reduces damage taken from all attacks by 10%. This is obviously a much better Super Soul because it doesn't activate when you literally have red health. This happens when you're below 50%, which is, I think, when you reach your second bar of health. Right? So, you know, and besides, who doesn't want key recovery mode? Like, maybe the opponent is so good that you can't do a quick little sneaky burst charge or some shit. How can you not like the Super Soul? Right? I mean, yeah, it got the defense up, but who the fuck cares? This is honestly, in my opinion, a better Super Soul than that baby Super Soul. But anyway, now we're going to go on to the skills. Your first skill, you may be wondering what we're going to use. Well, obviously, do or die, since it gives a. Um, let me remember real quick, because I'm having a hard time to fucking remember this shit. So, do or die grants you a 10% damage reduction. That is all it does. Besides, when you're taking damage while you perform it, it will take a bar of stamina and it will basically blow them away. Kind of like Spirit Explosion, which is a very good thing about it. Your second super attack, what shall it be? Well, let me introduce you to probably one of the best strike supers in the whole entire game, Justice Kick. Why Justice Kick is because when you just use it regularly, it does a backflip into a kick. But when you do the backflip and the kick and you press the button again, it will do a key blast. It would shoot this key blast, which actually scales off the strike apparently, which is kind of weird. But then again, this is a strike move, and it does that extra damage. And you will see clips of me in rank doing that, right? And I'm able to do some absurd damage with it. But anyway, onward to the third super attack. What shall it be? Well, reverse shot. Why? Because when you fire this thing, you know, the opponent will just like always just couple key blasts, and some of them misses them, right? But what the thing that it does, that some people forget about, is that the thing actually comes back automatically. It doesn't take an extra key for you to make it come back or anything. It just does it automatically. So like when it misses, it will automatically come back and it will try to hit them in the back. And that's the one thing I love about reverse shot. Now, if you don't like reverse shot, that's okay, because there is another move that you could use. Let me go down. Let me find it real quick. Side bridge. No, side bridge, if you don't know what it is pretty much a green destructive disc that hits the opponent. And then when it hits the opponent, it comes back to hit them the second time. Right? Pretty basic. And the thing about it is just, I mean, I really love this move a lot. It's a really good move. And sometimes you would see me use it on the Namek in quite some time because, it's a good move. No, it's not unblockable like the destructive disc, which is an unfortunate thing, but understandable. Because if it was an unblockable move, that would actually be quite bullshit all over itself. And I can see a lot of people rage into it. But anyway, onward to the fourth super attack. Almost about to say super soul, like some dumbass. It actually may shock you. Why? It's because you don't see barely anyone use this move, and it's shield barrier. Now, why shield barrier? It's because it can block key blasts. I used this, and I was able to block a Gallic gun, a fully charged Gallic gun, fully charged Kamehameha, fully charged times 10 Kamehameha. And the only thing it cannot block is the ultimate, Key Blast ultimate. Now, the one thing it does block, the only exception, the only ultimate Key Blast ultimate attack it does block is Emperor's Death Beam, which makes sense since it's just Death Beam, but now it's pretty much Crazy Finger Shy if it were to merge with Death Beam, which gives the damage of Death Beam while giving that Crazy Finger Shot like rapid fire capability. So that is understandable why it's able to do that. But your first ultimate attack, you may be wondering, well, what's our first ultimate attack be? Well, Evil Blast. Why? Is because it does a lot of damage regardless of what attribute specs you have on the Namekian. When this thing activates, when you counter someone's melee attack with this, it does some absurd damage. And I test this on a Namekian that doesn't have anything in Key Blast Supers, right? And guess what? It still does a lot of damage. And honestly, if anything, I feel like this is the best Key Blast Ultimate of all of these other fuckers. But anyway, onward to our second ultimate attack, which is actually going to be Dragon Fist. Why Dragon Fist? Is because it's such a good strike ultimate, specifically when you perfect block someone and they immediately break their stamina from you perfect blocking. When you perfect block and you break the opponent's stamina, you'd be immediately able to use this, and it always catches them because they don't suspect it. But when it does, you know, it does a lot of good damage, and it does a insane amount of damage on the Namekian. Right, which I have no idea why, but it does. Now, our working skill. Potential Unleash. Why Potential Unleash? It gives you a 5% damage reduction while giving you 15% damage increase for all attacks. And whoever came up with the thing where it gives you a 5% key regain is stupid. Why? Is because it doesn't boost any key gain whatsoever. I feel like they may have mistaken that with Beast, since Beast actually does do that, but when your health is like low, that's when it starts boosting your key regain. But now you know if anyone was confused about that, but now you know. Now your evasive skill may actually shock you. Psycho Escape. Why? It's because it freezes the opponent and then you run away. But the distance from your run away is actually really good. It gives you a lot of distance from your opponent where sometimes they can't do anything unless they're using Silent Flash or they, use a teleporting move or whatever. But it gives you some distance where you can work with. So like you can do so after it you can immediately do Justice Kick or Reverse Shot, whatever you prefer, right? So now after that, when you got all of these, you pretty much have the best Namekian. Pretty much have the best Namekian for your liking. Now, why I say best Namekian for your liking is because, like I said, you can either have 26 and Strike Supers, or 26 and Strike Supers and 76 and Key Blast Supers, or 76 and Strike Supers and 26 and Key Blast Supers. It's all about, what your preference is. But anyway, I really hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all next time. Goodbye.